Miss, I am so sorry, ma'am. You're on mute. Creo que no me escucha. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. You're on mute.
Uh, hello?
Patrick Land, EM 9803.
Hello, Your Honor. Stephen Pisani on behalf of Mr. Land, attorney
Hang on,
registration.
Mr. Pisani, I can't hear you. Let me check these speakers. Okay, try now.
You hear me?
Yes, thank you.
There we go. And Stephen Pisani on behalf of Patrick Land. I do have authority to enter a plea on his behalf. We do have a proposed disposition.
One sec. All right, the offer is to reduce the 4-point careless to a 2-point defective vehicle. Have you talked to Mr. Land about the rights he has, the rights he gives up by pleading guilty?
Yes.
How does Mr. Land plead to the 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle on, sorry, hang on, I lost my ticket. There it is. On September 19th, 2022 in 15,600 block of 120th Avenue in Commerce City, Colorado.
Guilty.
Thank you. I accept the guilty plea and find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Anything in regard to sentencing?
He did complete a level 1 NCTI class on October 29th. There were no injuries here. He had a clean driving record. He says that he was pulling out and he was waved out by a semi in the turn lane that also thought he had a clear turn. Apparently he didn't. He did take the right of way.
I call that the wave of death. I never go unless I can see all lanes of traffic because I've seen it happen here so many times. People think they're being helpful and it really ends up being really detrimental to the poor driver. All right, and I do see that there's no prior history. I think this originally could have been charged as a 3-point instead of the 4-point. He did take the class, so I'm going to consider that when imposing the fine. Normally it would be 120. I'm going to reduce it to 80. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, 30% surcharge. It's a total of 133. Is a 7-day stay of execution enough?
Perfect.
Perfect. Did you have any others?
I have one more, Miss Otto, Athena Otto.
Okay, Athena Auto, EM 21551.
And Stephen Pisani, attorney registration 4278 on behalf of Miss Otto. Wait for appearance. Do have authority to enter into a plea on her behalf.
Looks like the offer in this case is to reduce the 4-point careless driving to a 1-point defective headlight. And did you talk to Ms. Otto about the rights she has, the rights she gives up by entering into this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
How does Ms. Otto plead to the added 1-point charge of driving with a defective headlight on October 9th? Hang on, yep, October 9th, 2022, in the 15,600 block of East 96th Way in Commerce City, Colorado.
Guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. I accept that guilty plea and find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Anything in regard to sentencing?
Again, here, no injury. She did take a level 1 traffic class through ISAE. She was insured at the time. No history, I believe.
Looks like it was a parked car. I don't see any driving history.
Correct.
And I'm just looking at the accident report. A little bit of damage, I guess. Probably the angle that she ran into the car.
Yeah, the fender.
Yeah. All right, since she did complete the class and has no prior history, I am going to impose an $80 fine, reducing that from $120. There are $20 court costs, $9 field charge, 30% surcharge for a total of $133. 7-day stay of execution okay here too?
Yes, perfect.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
You will.
Thanks, bye-bye. Alyssa Sanchez, EM 17199. Good afternoon. Ms. Sanchez, did you have any questions about the rights advisement video?
No.
All right, one moment while I open up your ticket. Looks like you have a ticket for speeding. It is a 6-point violation. The prosecutor is offering to reduce your ticket to a 3-point charge of improper lane usage. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes.
Has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you're giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal? How do you plead to the 3-point charge of improper lane usage on October 11th, 2022 in the 10,900 block of Highway 2 in Commerce City, Colorado? Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you'd like me to consider before I impose the fine? All right, so the officer did clock you going 24 over. I definitely want you to watch that speed. And just looking at your driving record.
I was gonna ask about when was the last?
So I don't have a certified copy of the record, but what I see are 3 tickets in 2019, January, and then 2 in December. Those have all, how old are you? You're 20. So those have all fallen off your record. They don't count against you anymore. When you're 21, they count against you for 2 years. So point-wise, you're fine. All right, I am going to impose the standard fine, which is $120. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, 30% surcharge for a total of $185. Are you able to pay that today? Sure. I will have you see my clerk at the window to get a written reminder of that payment and the court date that that's due by. As long as you have the payment in, you'll not need to appear. But if something happens and you haven't gotten the payment in before then, you'll need to make sure that you do appear. Thank you. You too. Joshua Sosa, EM 9809. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Sosa, any questions about the rights advisement video? All right, a moment while I open up your case. Mr. Sosa, you have a ticket here for speeding. It's a 12-point violation. This is from October 2nd. The prosecutor is offering to reduce your ticket to a 6-point speeding charge on condition that you complete an Alive at 25 driving class. Would you like to accept this offer?
Yeah, I will.
Your other options would be to plead not guilty and set a trial or to request a continuance.
No, I'll take it.
Has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No,
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision? Do you understand that pleading guilty means you're giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney?
I understand.
Do you understand you give up the right to have a trial and have the city prove the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
I understand.
Do you understand that you're giving up the right to appeal?
I understand.
How do you plead to the added 6-point charge of speeding on October 2nd, 2022 in the 8300 block of Tower Road in Commerce City, Colorado?
I plead guilty.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you'd like me to consider before I impose the fine?
Not at all. And I had a question about the
One moment. It looks like it should have been 83 and a 45.
Oh, no, like after.
No, I'm just saying the original ticket. The officer wrote 83 and a 40, but when I read his notes, he indicates that it was 45-mile-an-hour zone. Which is good for you because going a 12-point ticket would have been enough to take your license. Let me look at your record real quick.
Wait, 40 or 45?
You were going 30,
No, speeding.
45.
Okay.
Which means that you were 38 over and not 40. 40 over is a 12-pointer, 38 over is a 6-pointer. Hang on a minute. Maybe it was yeah. I'm not sure the prosecutor realized what it was. So I'm gonna talk to him just to make sure he's gonna make you the same offer. He really hasn't reduced the points, which is his prerogative. He doesn't have to reduce the points because it was a really high speed. But I have worked with him enough times to know that that's generally not how he operates. So I'm gonna have him take a look at your case again really quick. Have a seat.
Thank you.
You bet. Asim Bezchik, EM 20536.
Yes, Anna.
Good afternoon, sir. Did you have any questions about the rights advisement video? Hi, you muted yourself.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, Anna.
Just 1 second, Mr. Bezchik. The phone number the person who's calling in with the phone number ending in 511, I need you to mute yourself. You're causing some background noise that's making it difficult for me. Thank you. All right, Mr. Bezchik, it looks like the prosecutor has reviewed your case and believes that there is insufficient evidence to prove the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt, so he is moving to dismiss. I'm going to grant that dismissal. Do you have any questions?
I do not. Thank you, Anna.
All right, thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Destiny Perez, EM 17197. Good afternoon. Ms. Perez, any questions about the rights advisement video? All right, you have a ticket here for speeding, a 4-point violation and no proof of insurance, a 4-point violation. The prosecutor has indicated that you did provide proof of insurance, so he is dismissing that charge. He's offering to reduce your speeding charge to a 1-point speeding violation. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes.
Has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty? Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you are giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
Yes.
How do you plead to the 1 point charge of speeding on October 11th, 2022 in the 6800 block of East 88th Avenue in Commerce City, Colorado. Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you'd like me to consider before I impose the fine?
No.
All right. Looks like you did clock you going 16 over, so just watch that speed. And just looking at your driving record. It looks like your last ticket was in 2018, so point-wise, you're doing fine. Going to impose the standard fine, which is $80. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, and a 30% surcharge for a total of $133. Are you able to pay that today?
Yes.
Okay. And then I will send you to the window to make that payment. Once you've done that, that will conclude your case. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Thank you. Eva Silva, EM 12172. Good afternoon. Ms. Silva, any questions about the rights advisement video?
No.
You have a ticket here for speeding. It's a 6-point violation. It looks like it went into default. The prosecutor is not objecting to vacating that default judgment and is still making you a plea offer today. I gotta search up here. 1 sec, I gotta search your case since we added you onto the docket.
Back in the day, we used to make defendants fill out motions to set aside, but we don't appear to do that anymore.
I know.
And this is that kid.
Thank you. So you were supposed to be here on October 26th.
Yes.
And you didn't appear that day and you didn't pay your fine ahead of time. So a default judgment entered, which technically means that we've reported the original charge to the Department of Motor Vehicle. And the fine is imposed without consideration for you having the ability to talk to the court. It just gets imposed based on the fine schedule. Since you're appearing today, the prosecutor is not objecting to setting aside the default judgment, which means you're back at square one, just like if you had appeared when you were supposed to. And he's making you a plea offer. So your original ticket is for a 6-point speeding violation, and he's offering to reduce it to a 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes.
Has anybody made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you're giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
Yes, sure.
How do you plead to the 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle on September 30th, 2022 in the 14,800 block of East 120th Avenue in Commerce City, Colorado? Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you'd like me to consider before I impose the fine?
Yes, 2 things. When the officer printed the ticket out, I just looked at it briefly. The print was very tiny, so I misread that. I missed my court date. I did show up there on Friday, October 28th at
Gotcha.
1 o'clock. I thought it was the 28th, and that's when I was redirected to call and reschedule. I did on Monday.
Okay.
And then also when I was pulled over, there was several cars. I was in traffic, so I don't understand how he got me, and I was on 120th and I took over on Chambers and now people. Going southbound. I was with other traffic, I don't understand, but I also felt asking to see the radar and due to the fact that there was other traffic.
Yeah, it does say that it got you on radar. Estimated your speed at 65, the radar confirmed at 66. All right.
And one more thing also.
Yeah.
Is I just saw, I went up Staple and turned on 120 and I turned on Chambers, so that's a short span of road, and I know, I don't I was like, oh, like, when he said.
He clocked you on 120th, not on Chambers.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But when I got off on Sable, between Sable and Chamber, not even probably 500 yards, and that's, you know, traffic. And I'm traffic, so I don't understand how we thought. Possible.
Well, you certainly do have the option of pleading not guilty and setting your case for a trial if you don't want to accept the plea offer.
Well, no, except that, you know, you know,
Okay.
my side is.
All right, and I see that you have not had any tickets since 2020. This one has fallen off your record, so you're clear at this time. All right, when you failed to appear, the court entered a default amount of $80 plus court costs. That's less than a fine that I would normally impose, but I'll go ahead and honor what the other judge already imposed. So the total that you'll owe is $133. Are you able to pay that today?
Yes,
Okay.
and again, I apologize. I have no intent.
Not to worry. I'm glad you're here today.
Yes.
Have a good rest of your day. Just go and see my clerk at the window. Thank you. All right, recalling Joshua Sosa, EM 9809. All right, so the prosecutor is offering to reduce your ticket from a 6-point to a 4-point speeding charge. Do you want to accept that offer?
Yes, I was.
All right, and has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No,
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
not at all.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you're giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
I understand.
How do you plead to the 4-point charge of speeding?
I will plead guilty.
Oops, sorry, I closed it out. Hang on. I got to get the date and time on the record. My apologies. Here we go. All right, how do you plead to the 4-point charge of speeding on October 2nd, 2022 at 8300 Tower in Commerce City, Colorado?
I will plead guilty.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you'd like me to consider before I impose the fine?
Speeding of it,
Yeah,
why was it for you? Not for the phone?
the officer in his notes wrote 45, and when he did it's like a drop-down menu on the e-reader, on the e-ticket machine, he clicked on 40 instead of 45, so it showed up as a 12-point ticket. But he actually wrote it as a 6-point, so he had the points right, just missed that speed. Why were you driving 83 and 45?
I was having a good time. Listening to music, having a great day. Officer pulled me over at one of those times. You know, and then with that,
That's an irresponsible speed. If you crashed or crashed into somebody else, that could be a fatal accident.
I understand now as officer protecting all the possible. Ignorantly gone off. And
Yeah.
this is things that you can't drive at speeds because it was so crashing. Or, you know, a misdemeanor or something like that, I could crash with something else.
And that officer has been on the street long enough, and I've been in this area of law long enough that I have seen people die from going too fast.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. So you can't drive at the speeds because especially here, people who die with car crashes. And
Yeah.
I don't know. So he has explained to me, now I understand why driving at those speeds is not correct.
So what I'm gonna do, Mr. Sosa, is I'm going to impose a fine, but suspend part of the fine on condition that you complete the level, the Alive at 25 driving class. I'm imposing a $500 fine. I will suspend 300 on condition that you complete the driving class. You're going to get that information on the class at the window. It's a 4-hour class, which can either be done in person or online. Just make sure that you click on the Colorado link to take the right class. There are $20 court costs, $9 surcharge, 30% fuel charge for a total of $289 that you owe. That's significantly less than I would normally be imposing because you are taking the class. If you don't do it, I will impose the entire 500.
Um,
All right, are you able to pay the 289 today?
Perhaps, I'm not sure. I need to, check in my closet.
Okay. No worries. I'll have you talk to the ladies at the window or the people at the window about that payment. If you need time, let them know and they'll work that arrangement out with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I thought you were handing me some.
No. I thought you were reading something.
Nope. Sure the jail is not on. Oh, it's not even close. All right, Sheree Madrid, EM 8291.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Did you have any questions about the rights advisement video?
No.
All right, and it looks like you have a ticket here for speeding. It's a 6-point violation and no proof of insurance. A 4-point violation. This is from September 26th. It looks like you were able to provide your insurance, so that charge is getting dismissed. On the speeding charge, the prosecutor is offering to reduce that. Sorry, I misspoke. It's a 4-point speed. He's offering to reduce that from a 4-point speeding to a 2-point defective vehicle. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes.
Has anybody made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you're giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
I understand.
How do you plead to the 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle on September 26, 2022 in the 6400 block of Highway 85 in Commerce City, Colorado?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you would like me to consider before I impose the fine?
No, ma'am.
All right, one moment while I look at driving record. Looks like you do have a couple of other tickets in the last 2 years. Totaling 5 points. So this is going to put you at 7 points for 2 years. So definitely want you to start being careful.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you're only allowed to accumulate up to 11 points when you're under 21. So you're creeping up there on your max.
Okay.
All right. And also you were one mile an hour away from this being a 6-point charge to start with.
Okay.
All right, so I am imposing a $100 fine. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, 30% surcharge for a total of $159. Are you able to pay that today?
Not today, but I can pay it.
Okay, how much time do you need?
Maybe just a day.
All right, I'll do 7 days just to be safe.
Okay.
All right, and you're going to get an email from the clerk's office regarding that payment option. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Larry Cisneros, EM 10117. Good afternoon, sir. All right, Mr. Cisneros, you're here because there was an alleged violation of your in-home detention. You were ordered to complete one sec. You were ordered to complete 30 days of in-home detention. You were required to begin that in-home detention by April 27th. And then it looks like there was a continuance to give you time to complete that no later, or to begin that no later than June 30th. High Tech, who is the monitoring for the in-home detention, filed a notice with the court on June 8th that says the following. The offender did not charge the GPS monitoring equipment as required by the monitoring agreement that he signed. Offenders are required to charge the GPS ankle bracelet daily. The GPS monitoring unit has died. We are no longer able to monitoring, misspelling, this offender for the court-ordered in-home detention sanction. The last known location for the offender, and it gives an address, on June 7th, 2022. He is not responding to my many phone calls and text messages. A warrant was issued when that was provided to us. And that was an execution warrant for you to spend 120 days in jail, which was what was suspended when you were supposed to do your in-home. So what happened? Okay. And actually, I'm just gonna stop you right here because I don't want you to say something that could be used against you. I'm going to tell you what your options are. You have the option of applying for the public defender if you would like to get some legal representation. You have the right to have a hearing on the whether or not the 120 days should be imposed. At that hearing, the city will have to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that you failed to complete your in-home detention sentence. If they do fail, or if they do prove that, then you could be looking at those 120 days that were previously suspended. Your second option would be to admit the violation and be resentenced today up to the maximum that could be imposed, which is 120 days. Your third option, again, is to apply for the public defender if you want to have an attorney help you make this decision. Do you know what you would like to do? You would like to admit the violation and be resentenced today without the benefit of an attorney, even though you know you're looking at 120 days? Has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to admit the violation today? Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision? Do you understand that pleading or that admitting the violation means that you're waiving the right to have the hearing that I've described to you?
I admit the violation, not charging but I did what the full charges and my house to monitor on this 17th of June, this morning to be big. So I did what
Well, if it's not charged, you're not being monitored. So you didn't really do the full term. I mean, if you want to apply for the public defender. Okay. If you want to get the information from High Tech about the times that you may have been monitored, that might assist you in the court making its determination, because as it stands, you agreed to a sentence of 120 days and to doing that in home, and you didn't do it. So it's very likely that I'm going to impose the 120. What has changed that? Well, first of all, we need to get this plea taken. Do you understand that you're waiving your right to have a hearing? Do you understand you're waiving your right to confront witnesses called against you and the right to bring witnesses of your own? Do you understand you're waiving your right to appeal any adverse decision? To the allegation that you failed to maintain your in-home detention monitor by charging it, do you admit or deny? Thank you. I accept your admission, find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. All right, now tell me what's changed that you would be able to complete this in home now. Are you on in-home for Denver? And are you working? How are you going to be able to pay the $11 a day that it takes to pay for the monitor? And you have a telephone? Have you dropped any hot UAs since you started your work at Mile High? Are you in drug court in Denver? And they haven't revoked your probation on those? No, sir. All right, one moment while I review the original report.
Yes, we could resend it.
How much have you paid to High Tech already?
I still owe a little bit of time, but I need to another session and I can get the remainder of what I owe and pay the charge.
How old are you, Mr. Cisneros? 120 days on a $20 theft is a pretty hefty sentence, but I can see why it was imposed. You have a terrible record. I'm assuming that all these thefts were a means to support your drug habit. And you're going to Mile High 3 times a week? Every week? All right, Mr. Cisneros, I'm gonna give you one more opportunity at the in-home, but you gotta do all the 30 days, starting again. You don't get any credit for the prior that you may have done. When you wear the bracelet and you don't charge it, it doesn't count. So even though he lets you keep it on for the 30 days or whatever, it doesn't count if you're not doing what you need to do to be monitored. You are going to have to work out your schedule with him so that you can keep going to all your probation appointments and keep going to Mile High. I don't want you to stop doing that. That's very important and pretty much the only reason that I'm agreeing to continue you on the in-home rather than sending you to jail on the suspended sentence. If you violate, I will have no other options. You will have exhausted my options. Don't do that. I'm requiring that you get set up on that in-home no later than next Wednesday, November 9th at 10 a.m. If you are not hooked up, you have to appear here. And I can work with you if you show up and you haven't done it, but there better be a darn good excuse. If you don't show up and you're not hooked up, I will issue the execution warrant and we won't be seeing each other again and you'll just serve the 120. All right, I'll have you see my clerk at the window to get that information. He's probably going to make you pay the balance before you start again. So you need to have that money ready. Good luck.
May this 13. Just said I just want to be with her where it's been sealed because I'm here with the class. It's just her second.
Okay. Thank you. Arodi Para Rodarte, EM 12177.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Did you have any questions about the rights advisory video?
No, Your Honor.
All right, one moment while I open your ticket. And Ms. Para, do you have a parent with you today?
Yeah, she's right here.
Yes, I'm right here. Good afternoon.
Oops, you were cutting out a little bit there. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Parra.
It's a really bad connection. Hang on. Okay, try to say your name again.
Sarah Parra.
What I want you to do is turn your camera off, and that might help get the audio through more clearly because it's breaking up a little.
My
Okay.
name is Sarah Parra.
Thank
Oh,
you.
did you-
Ms. Para, are you okay with English or do you need an interpreter?
I'm okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
And do you have any questions about your daughter's rights?
No, I don't think so.
All right, thank you. Arodi, you have a ticket here for speeding. It's a 6-point violation from October 5th. The prosecutor is offering to reduce your ticket to a 4-point speeding charge on the condition that you complete an Alive at 25 driving class. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mrs. Para, is this what you believe that your daughter should do?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Arodi, has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you are giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the 4-point charge of speeding on October 5th, 2022 in the 10,900 block of Highway 2 in Commerce City, Colorado?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you would like me to consider before I impose the fine?
No, Your Honor.
Why on earth were you driving that fast?
I was trying to make it to school on time because the day before my mom got really mad at me because I was late to my class. But I understand it was like I was just trying to do the right thing, but I was speeding like really bad. I'm so sorry, and I know it was a horrible decision on my behalf. Like,
Did you have any passengers?
I had no.
Well, what do you think you could do differently? Could you get up earlier?
Yeah.
Could you leave the house earlier?
Yes.
No parent should ever receive a phone call that their child has been in an accident because they were going 85 and a 45. If you crashed going that fast, you wouldn't be making it to school. You probably would never be making it anywhere again.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
6 points is enough to take your license, and that's what the original charge was. So that would have been enough to suspend your license as well. So pretty dire consequences for going this fast.
I understand, Your Honor.
I am going to impose a fine, but suspend part of the fine on condition that you complete the Alive at 25 driving class. You will receive the information about the class from my clerk by email. You need to make sure that you turn in the certificate of completion to the court. They don't send it to us. It's your responsibility to provide it to us. I'm imposing a $500 fine. I will suspend $300 of it on condition that you provide proof of completion of the class. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, 30% surcharge for a total of $289. You'll receive some information about that payment as well. Do either of you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you and drive safe.
Thank you.
Aldo Ivan Ramirez, EM 17178. Mr. Ramirez, are you able to unmute?
Hello?
Hi there, sir. Did you have any questions about the rights advisement video?
No, ma'am.
Right, you have a ticket here for speeding and failing to signal. Let me take a look at that ticket. And this is from October 10th. That speeding violation is a 4-point charge. The failing to signal is a 2-point charge. The prosecutor is offering to dismiss both of the original charges if you plead guilty to an added 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No, ma'am.
One moment. I need to quash the warrant on that case. Do you understand that pleading guilty means you are giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to the 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle on October 2nd, 2022 in the 14,500 block of East 104th Avenue in Commerce City, Colorado?
Guilty.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you would like me to consider before I impose the fine?
No, ma'am.
All right. Looks like you have not had any tickets since 2019, so point-wise, you're doing all right. I am going to impose the standard fine, which is $80. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, 30% surcharge, for a total of $133. Are you able to pay that today, Mr. Ramirez?
No, ma'am. Can I pay it next week?
Yes, I will give you a 2-week stay of execution for that payment. As long as you get it in by the date that my clerk provides to you in the email, you will not need to appear. But if you have not paid that, then you will need to appear. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Well, yeah, so for the fine, can I go, do I have to go to the court and pay it to, like, the clerk over there?
You can pay online or you can come here, either way.
Oh, okay, okay. And you said, 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
A week? Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Brian Zazueta Gomez, EM 17555.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Did you have any questions about the rights advisement video?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you have a ticket here for speeding. It's a 6-point violation. The prosecutor is offering to reduce your ticket to a 3-point charge of improper lane usage. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes, I would.
Has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you are giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the 3-point charge of improper lane usage on October 8th, 2022 at 9400 Tower Road in Commerce City, Colorado?
I plead guilty.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you would like me to consider before I impose the fine?
No, Your Honor.
All right. It looks like you have a 4-pointer from August out in Sterling.
That's right.
So this is going to put you at 7 points. That means that you don't even have a license yet. So when you apply for your license, the DMV might be withholding those 7 points from your license, which means you only have 1 point left to lose. If you lose more than 1 point between now and August 22nd, 2023, that's going to put you over your point limit.
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, I am imposing a fine of $120. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, 30% surcharge, for a total of $185. Are you able to pay that today?
I have a question. And so, like, what's like the most time you could give me?
Well, I can give you a reasonable amount of time. How much time are you asking for?
So right now I'm out in college. I just need like a little bit of time to gather the money up. Like,
All right. So I'll give you 30 days
sounds good.
with no stay fee. If it takes you longer than that, there may be an additional fee that gets added for a payment plan.
Yep,
Somebody's
sounds good.
going to send you an email about that, okay?
Yep, sounds good.
Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Maeve Sisk, EM 14587.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Did you have any questions about the rights advisement video?
No, Your Honor.
And who did you bring with you today?
Hi, I'm Mom. My name is Casey Duran.
Thank you. Ms. Duran, any questions about your daughter's rights?
No.
All right, you have a ticket here, Maeve, for disorderly conduct, and this is alleged to have occurred on October 7th. The prosecutor has indicated that you are pleading guilty to that charge today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Duran, is your daughter entering into this plea agreement with your permission?
Yes,
Thank you. Maeve, do you understand that pleading guilty today means you're giving up the right to have a trial and have the city prove this case against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up the right to confront witnesses called against you and the right to bring witnesses of your own?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand you're giving up the right to testify and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you're giving up the right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you are giving up your right to consult with an attorney, including the right to consult with an attorney about the immigration consequences that may result from any guilty plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that the maximum penalty that could be imposed against you is a fine of up to $2,650?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that this guilty plea could affect any probation, parole, or immigration issue that you may be facing?
Yes, Your Honor.
The charge of disorderly conduct says it is unlawful to knowingly, intentionally, or recklessly fight with another person in a public place, except in an amateur or professional contest of athletic skill. Do you understand the charge of disorderly conduct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree that you engaged in disorderly conduct on October 7th, 2022 at 4451 East 72nd Avenue in Commerce City, Colorado?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to that charge, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you would like me to consider before I impose the sentence?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so give me just a moment to review the report here. One moment. Are you still at the same school?
No, Your Honor.
Did you get expelled?
it's like they're doing a program where she's not going there until January 1st, but I have chose to take her completely out of that school. Right now, she's doing the Mapleton online like they requested, but after that, she's going to be going somewhere else. No longer in that district.
I think, Maeve, that this ticket could have been charged as an assault. From what I can review on the report, or what I see, is that this was an unprovoked attack on this girl in class, and that's an assault. That's not fighting with another kid, that's assaulting a person. So I think you were lucky to come out of this with a disorderly conduct charge. I know that you've already taken an anger management class, and obviously you didn't use any of those tools in this case. Why not?
I have been using the tools for many, we've been arguing, the girl I fought, for like 3 years now. So I kind of just reached my limit, and I used those tools for many times with many people, and I think I just broke out this time.
All right, one moment.
Stop. Don't ruin my stuff. chance, please don't do that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to impose a $500 fine. I will suspend your fine on these conditions. Number one, that you have no further violations for 12 months. Number two, you are to complete 24 hours of community service and 24 hours of community service. That has to be done at a nonprofit organization like church, school, food bank, animal shelter.
Sorry, I had a question for you on that. She was supposed to do community service the last incident. However, we were having a really hard time finding a nonprofit organization that would allow such a young child to do that. And I called churches, animal shelters, everything. So they suggested doing community service with it, like elderly. Would that be okay if we find something like that again, or?
I will authorize community service with an elderly or disabled
Okay,
non-family member.
sure, okay.
But you need to get good contact information for whoever you do the hours for, because we will call and verify that it's been done.
Okay.
All right, so condition number one is no new violations. Condition two is that you complete that 24 hours of community service. Condition three, you are to complete a Making Better Choices class and write a 300-word essay about what you've learned in the class. And the final condition is that you abide by a restraining order for the benefit of Zaraya Aragon Garcia. And that restraining order is going to say that you shall not harass, molest, intimidate, retaliate against, or tamper with any witness to or victim of the acts you are charged with committing. Do you understand this restraining order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any violation of any of these conditions could result in the revocation of your suspended sentence, meaning the $500 that I've imposed, but that I'm not making you pay. Do you have any questions about that?
No, Your Honor.
Mrs. Duran, any questions about the sentence that I have imposed?
No.
All right, so you will be receiving an email from my clerk with those, with all of the sentencing summary and a reminder of the conditions, as well as dates that they're due by. If you have a due date and part of your condition is not done, then you will need to make sure that you appear and request more time. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you both. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank
You
you.
too, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Do we hang up now or do we go
Yeah,
to the
you're
clerk?
free to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
thanks.
Desiree Martinez, EM 15008.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jacob Starkovich, 32184, appearing on behalf of Ms. Martinez as court-appointed counsel. She appears in person, out of custody. I appear via video.
Good afternoon. And Ms. Martinez, can you hear your attorney okay? All right, thank you. And it looks like we are continuing the pretrial conference.
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, and Ms. Martinez, do you need any reminders of what the agreement was in regard to the pretrial conditions? Okay. Let me just take a look. Is this a deferred essentially, Mr. Starkovich? Does she have those conditions?
Judge, I don't think there's a plea yet, from what I can tell. Unless I'm mistaken. I was just appointed and still going
Okay.
through all the reports.
Yep, there's not. All right, how much time do you want on the continuance, Mr. Starkovich?
Your Honor, I was going to ask and see if the court's available in the afternoon of December 8th.
Yes, we are.
That'd be great. Thank you.
All right, so we are going to continue your case for a pretrial conference to December 8th. What time did you want that, Mr. Starkovich?
Whatever's good for the court, Your Honor.
All right, we'll do 1. Is that right? 1 p.m. All right, so December 8th at 1 p.m., Ms. Martinez, do you have any questions? All right, so I want you to stop at the window and get a written reminder of that court date. Thank you very much and have a good day. Thank you, Mr. Starkovich.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Bye-bye.
Movement 242, and I can barely hear anything she said. I heard enough.
You've heard enough. You've heard.
So wade through.
Thank you.
Oh, we haven't done the prisoners yet, right?
Mm-mm.
2:30. Are we done with the little things?
Vanessa Mendez Martinez, EM 8701.
Yes,
Good afternoon, ma'am. Did you have any questions about the rights advisement video?
I don't.
All right, you have a ticket here from September 28th for failing to yield. That's a 3-point violation. The prosecutor is offering to reduce your ticket to a 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle. Would you like to accept that plea offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you're giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle on September 28th, 2022 at 7100 East 72nd Avenue in Commerce City, Colorado?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you. I accept the guilty plea and I find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Is there anything that you would like me to consider before I impose the fine?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so it looks like somebody gave you the wave of death. That's what I call it. When somebody waves you through and they aren't paying attention and there's another car. Is that what happened?
Yes, Your Honor.
Gotcha. I always myself wait until I can see all lanes of traffic, because even though people think they're being nice, they're not really looking out, for all the other lanes. So I want you to make sure you're doing that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And I do see that you have not had any tickets before. So point wise, you're doing fine. All right, I am going to impose a $120 fine. There are $20 court costs, $9 surcharge, $9 fuel charge, 30% surcharge for a total of $185. Are you able to pay that today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. You'll receive an email from my clerk with your payment options. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. You are now free to exit the call.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I got hit so hard.
It is. I've seen so many cases where it happens that I do not. I'm like, I just wave back. Like, I can't see around you. Like, I'm not going to risk that.
Yeah, it was weird because actually it was great. I had a truck at the time and
Mhm.
this guy was in a car, but I pulled out and it was raining and he didn't even like brake. I had a
Yikes.
blue truck and it was just. And then the weird thing about it was when he got out of his car, he wasn't like, "Are you okay?" He was like, "Do you go to school here?" And I was like,
Hmm.
25. I was
That's
like,
very strange.
what? I know.
That's really weird.
What does that mean? It was in Colorado Springs where I was living there. I was like,
Hmm.
what?
You're like,
What?
alrighty then. Oh wait, do I need to jump on a different meeting?
I think they're still, I think we're still waiting for,
Good afternoon. We are on the record. Kiara Sanchez, EM 1211213.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. And Ms. Sanchez, it looks like you have completed all of your agreement with the prosecutor, and so he is moving to dismiss your case. I'm going to grant that motion to dismiss, and I'm going to order that your case be expunged, which means that you can legally say that this record does not exist. Do either of you have any questions?
No.
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you both. Have a good rest of your day. You're free.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we'll rejoin the other one.
Guess we're the only ones on here so far. I need some tissue. Now I got some.
she does, but that's fine.
Jalecia Brown, EM 7767.
Sorry, we had to unmute it.
No problem. All right. Jalecia, any questions about the rights advisement that you reviewed?
No, no, Your Honor.
And who did you bring with you to court today?
My mother.
Hi, ma'am. Can I get your name for the record?
Tamika Thomas?
Thank you. And Ms. Thomas, did you have any questions about your daughter's rights?
No.
Right, thank you. Jalecia, you have a ticket here for disorderly conduct, and this is from October 7th. You and the prosecutor have come to an agreement to continue your case to give you time to complete certain conditions in exchange for a dismissal of your case. Those conditions are that you complete 16 hours of community service, a one-day violence is preventable class, and write a 300-word essay about what you've learned in the class. You are to have no further violations during the time that your case is open, and you are to abide by a restraining order for the benefit of Zaraya Aragon Garcia. Is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that as long as you do all these things, then the prosecutor is going to dismiss your case, and I will then expunge it, which means that you can legally say that the record does not exist.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Thomas, is your daughter entering into this agreement with your permission?
Yes.
All right, just one moment. Why am I not finding this case? All right, and my apologies, I misspoke. It looks like you have a ticket for harassment, not disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
All right, I did find that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a new court date. It's gonna be in about 60 days. And the purpose of that is to give you time to complete the conditions. You're gonna get an email from my clerk regarding the class and the community service. You can either complete the class in person or online. If you choose to do the online class, I want you to know that you are required to keep your camera on the entire time, or they will not give you credit for completion. Any questions about that?
No, Your Honor.
No.
They do not send us a copy of the completion certificate, so it will be your responsibility to provide proof of the completion certificate and your essay by that court date.
Yes, Your Honor.
The community service needs to be done at a nonprofit organization, which means like church or school or food bank or an animal shelter. And you will need to get good contact information for whoever that you work for, because we do call and verify that you've done your hours. If you cannot find a nonprofit organization that will accept you because of your age, I do allow community service for the benefit of any elderly, which means 60 or older, or disabled non-family member. So it can't be auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa, but you can do it for elderly or disabled non-family member. Any questions about that?
No. I have a question.
Yes.
Have you found it for kids her age for it to be hard for them to find somewhere?
It can be, depending on the kind of places that you're trying to call.
Okay.
There are a lot of churches that allow community service.
Okay, so you guys won't provide like a list or anything?
I don't think we have a list. Do we have a list here? No.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So like Bar Lake State Park will take kids sometimes if you can get on their list, and that's not too far. I was just looking at your address to figure out where maybe you could go. But churches are a really good option. And then certainly true community service, doing it for a neighbor is also great.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And then I am going to be imposing a restraining order for the benefit of Zariah Aragon Garcia. And that order says that you are not to harass, molest, intimidate, retaliate against, or tamper with any witness to or victim of the acts you are charged with committing. Do you understand this restraining order?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want you to know that I have also imposed one for your benefit from Zariah as well. I've already spoken to her. The two of you are not to have any communication that is negative, meaning no texting, Snapchat, Instagram, nothing like that. So you guys just need to not have any bad communication. Do you have any questions about that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you'll be getting an email from my clerk with all of the requirements and that next court date. Do either of you have any questions before I let you go from the call?
No.
All right, thank you both. Have a good rest of your day.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Jared Searcy, EM 14118.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Did you have any questions about the rights advisement video?
No.
All right, you have a ticket here for failing to yield. That's a 3-point violation. The prosecutor is offering to reduce your ticket to a 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes, I would, Your Honor.
Has anybody made you any promises or threatened you to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your ability to make a good decision?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that pleading guilty means you are giving up all of the rights that you have in the case, including the right to have an attorney, the right to have a trial, and the right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the 2-point charge of driving with a defective vehicle on September 28th, 2022 in the 4900 block of Newport Street in Commerce City, Colorado?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. I accept your guilty plea and find that it's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Just give me one moment to review the accident report. All right, looks like everyone was okay. Is there anything that you'd like me to consider before I impose the fine?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And I do see that you've not ever had a ticket before. All right, normally the fine would be $160. I'm going to reduce it to $120. There are $20 court costs, $9 fuel charge, and a 30% surcharge. So the total that you'll owe is $185. Mr. Searcy, are you able to pay that today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you'll get an email from my clerk with your payment options. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.